I'm your chief misfit in charge. Hi, Pugs Moran. I'm the only misfit. That's why I'm in charge. I don't know. He's on vacation. He's accounted for. We know where he is. He's in the Bahamas. He typically hangs out with us during the Radio Misfit broadcasts here every Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. James Parker, he's the curious. Let's see what that is. What is that? Oh, look at that. That is. Oh no, we're doing that thing again. Oh, where we look at that? Oh no, we're doing that thing again. Oh, yes, we are. Caught in a weird loop. Oh no. All right, never mind. There we go. Yeah, I don't know where James is, everybody. Let's see. Let's get the chat room going. How many people we got here? Let's call James. That's what I like to do. It's typically the first thing that we do in these. I mean, he could be in some form of distress. The house could be on fire. We don't know. Because he's a very responsible individual. It is not like I was talking to him earlier today, earlier this evening. Hi, Sally. This ain't good. All right.
Hey, this is James.
So look, here's the thing. James has like 15 kids, so it's quite possible that there is some kind of child emergency that is taking precedent over this silly little stream that we do every night. But that shouldn't stop us. I don't know how much. Oh, there he is. Look at him. I was just saying how it wasn't going to stop us, and it sure as hell didn't, because here he is. I was just getting ready to roll. James Parker, ladies and gentlemen. Can't hear you. There he goes. He knows what it is. See, he knows what's going on with our cameras. Why am I so close up? What's happening with our cameras? I'm too close. That's better. Still can't hear you. James can't be heard. Nope. He cannot be heard.
I can.
There he is. Now we can hear him. Look, it's James.
It's because I showed up late. Usually this is stuff we do before we hit the go live button. So I apologize for the very unprofessional lack of promptness on my part. But Miss Parker got home just right before the show started, and she had a twinkle in her eye. So,
oh, you were late because of sex?
Well, I wasn't going to be that blunt about it. It's going to be a little more poetic.
Well, no, poetic, please. You're trying to be crass, and you're trying to also be poetic. Those two things don't work. You're trying to let us all know that you got some. I was hypothesizing that one of your many children had caused some form of a distraction that was causing you to be late. There he is. Yeah, he had sex. He's hungry. Look at him. That's the first thing you do after sex is go to the refrigerator. Eat that cold chicken leg right out of the dish. Yeah, I've been there. All right. Well, hey, it only matters that you're here now. So that's good. Happy that you're here now. I would like to get things rolling with, first of all, happy start to the 2023 NFL season. Happy it officially began.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame game is on right now on your NBC affiliate KETK 56 here in Bug Tussle.
Yeah, I don't know what the score. What's the score? Anybody know? I think it's halftime right now. Right now, they're talking to DeMarcus Ware in the tunnels at halftime. DeMarcus,
one of two Cowboys being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year.
That's right. How exciting! The score is 16-14. The New York Jets practice squad at this point is beating the Cleveland Browns practice squad. A bunch of future shoe salesmen and insurance guys.
Did you see Aaron Rodgers take some snaps in a non-Packer uniform?
No, Aaron Rodgers, I don't believe, is suited up. They were talking to him during the halftime as well, and he was in street clothes. And I think I saw him during the anthem wearing street clothes. He was not. The game was started by, I don't know, Zach Wilson and Kellen Mond. I think we didn't get Deshaun Watson. This is, like I said, this is the practice squad that's going on here. But it did start in earnest. And it started with, of course, the national anthem. And the national anthem is a wonderful thing. It's a terrible song. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I like the symbol of it, and I'm an American, so I appreciate it. But it's a terrible song. There is no real hook to it. It's just something that we know the words to because it's been drilled into our head, not because we found ourselves humming it in our quieter moments. I mean, it's not catchy. Let's not kid ourselves. But James, DeMarcus Ware sang the national anthem today. Did you know that DeMarcus Ware could sing?
No idea. He really did?
He did. He did it on live TV on NBC. Everybody saw it, ladies and gentlemen. 2023 NFL Hall of Fame inductee singing our national anthem, DeMarcus Ware. And we all went, wow. I didn't know he could sing.
Good for him. That's a difficult song.
Well,
he must have some chops.
Here's what you would think, right? Anyone that would get up, this is a big moment. I mean, I know it's a nonsense game.
Wait, how did he do? Did he do bad?
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to DeMarcus Ware and whether or not he has surrounded himself over the years with yes men who have told him, yes, you sing beautifully, DeMarcus. And now DeMarcus is out there thinking he can sing. I'm not going to say that that's the case. Let's just build into that. Let's see if that is what revealed. So DeMarcus Ware comes out and he sings the national anthem. And James, I've got it if you'd like to hear it.
I would love to hear it for about 30 seconds.
Why not? Well, I don't think that's fair. This is a very difficult song, and I think you need to give it its full due, especially with a talent the size of DeMarcus Ware. When he's trying, one thinks of Carl Lewis and his famous anthem. When you think of, all right, here you go. Let's watch this. So here you go. Here's DeMarcus Ware. By the way, looking trim, looking fantastic. Can't take that. Look at him. Look at that glorious son of a bitch. Can't take that away from him. All right, here we go. This is DeMarcus Ware singing the anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we
I like looking at the people's faces. Like, look at that dude's looking around. Deshaun Watson.
last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous
Wait, the difficult part is coming up. Look at this guy. This guy does not like it. That guy's like, nope. There's Aaron Rodgers. See, he's in street clothes.
Aaron Rodgers is cool with it, though. He's digging it.
Well, he's just got his eyes closed.
There's the Patriot.
He's tripping balls.
There you go. This is the tough part.
It's his weekend, dude. He made it to the Hall of Fame. He's feeling himself this weekend. He stayed at a Marriott last night.
The ending's really tough, too.
Here we go.
It's not a tragedy yet.
Nah, but he's limping through it. That's charity. He's not Whitney Houston did or anything. He didn't deserve that. Oh, that was bad. But the Jets are going to save him,
Oh,
as
that
they often do. What's he doing? What's that motion? What's going on there, DeMarcus?
He's signing the Constitution. He's signing the Declaration of Independence right in front of your face.
There he is. Look
He's
at that.
channeling the founding fathers right now.
American military might saving the day for another terrible anthem singer, James.
Wasn't that a spy plane? Doesn't that dish on top mean they're spying on you? That's like a reconnaissance plane of some sort, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, they just sucked up all your text messages of the last 90 minutes.
So here's what I think happened there. This is what I think happened. I think DeMarcus Ware. I I think DeMarcus Ware has a personal universe, and by that I mean the people he sees and deals with every day. I think he has a personal universe of a lot of people who are dependent on DeMarcus Ware. He might have some Rays, some cousins, some third cousins that are in charge of, making sure the kids get to school on time and all that kind of stuff. He's surrounded by people who I think might be, as a lot of retired former athletes are, because he's got money now. Don't kid yourself. He's probably in the 50 million. That's enough money to be able to live like that. And I think over the years, I think that DeMarcus has shown to his people that he likes to sing, not just in the shower. He sings around the house and all that. And I think that maybe some of these people, James, over the years have told him that he's good. And I think that maybe he now thinks he's good. So when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame and he got the phone call, I think that he might have hung up the phone with the Hall of Fame and said to his people, hey, boy, you know what? Maybe I should sing the national anthem. How great would that be? And then somebody in the DeMarcus Ware camp had to pick up the phone and call somebody from the Hall of Fame and say, hey, DeMarcus would like to sing the anthem. And that poor person probably said, okay, that's does he sing? And the person was like, yeah, he sings all the time. Like, is he good? And the person was like, he sings all the time. And that's how you get DeMarcus Ware doing the anthem.
I think he set the bar really low. I was expecting a tragedy. I was expecting absolute chaos and embarrassment, and that was like weak, but it wasn't. It was better than I expected. My expectations were maybe just set too low for the first time I've seen it.
Oh, it's terrible. You got to be able to sing to be able to do the national anthem.
Not terrible
It's
for
absolutely
an NFL
terrible.
legend. It's not terrible for a guy who had like.
Here's my problem. Who told him he can do it? Where
He's
did this
fine.
false confidence? No, he's not fine.
That's
He
better.
thinks he can sing. He cannot sing. He is off key. He is out of sync with the song at least twice. In the very beginning, he starts too fast, and they have to catch up. He is off key from the very beginning and
Does he have
tries.
an IFB in his does he have an earpiece?
Stop it. Oh, my God.
And I bet you he sings that better than 80% of Americans, period. If just the average person off the street, if you asked them to sing the national anthem, they couldn't.
Well, now who's setting the bar low? I mean, the average person, singing is a talent. So let's just say among the people who, do you think that there is a karaoke bar in the greater Canton area, which is where they're doing? Do you think there's a karaoke bar right now in the greater Canton area that has a singer that could do it better than that? I bet you there is.
All of them do.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, he shouldn't be singing. Somebody told him he can sing. He's probably fine. Like in the car, he's fine. He's not terrible. But he should not be on a stage on national TV with everybody. He is getting hammered on Twitter, and I don't understand why people allowed that to happen to him, because obviously people know that he can't sing.
I have the answer to that. For one thing, this is not a paid ticket to a concert. This is a paid ticket to an NFL event called the Hall of Fame game. And if in the process of honoring legends of the NFL, if one of them wants to sing the anthem and they can possibly get through it, then freaking I like to hear all of them sing it. We should have, the NFL legends karaoke contest or NFL Idol or whatever you want to call it. But dude, the guy, amazing player. I would like to hear more singing from random people. I mean, I would like to hear Arnold Schwarzenegger sing the anthem with his accent and everything. Wouldn't that be great?
I agree with absolutely everything that you've said there. I'm glad that they chose him. I'm glad they let him do it. That's not what I am taking an issue with. I am taking an issue with an obvious situation where there's somebody with people in his life who tell him he can sing. He thinks he's better than he is. And that's why anyone would have the confidence to get up in front of a national TV audience and come on, he's getting hammered. And nobody told him. But I will tell you this. Hold on, wait, hold on, let me finish. I will tell you this. When it was pitched to the Hall of Fame, I am certain that there were some young, smart people in their social media marketing department who said, let him do it. Let him do it. If he sucks, it'll be great. The hashtag will be great. So, and that's what we got. And I'm glad we got it.
Back to agreed again. So what's the score now?
The score now is New York Jets 16 versus the Cleveland Browns practice squad 14. Cleveland Browns practice squad just
I miss football so much. I just can't get into preseason. I can't. I tried a couple of years before. I remember when I was in high school, and I thought it would be cool to be the guy who knew the most about all the players on the Cowboys team. So I watched every game of the preseason, and like 90% of those dudes were gone by the end of the season.
No, I get your point. I love preseason football. I love the start of training camp. I mean, every day I spend at least an hour just doing nothing but reading training camp reports and watching YouTube videos and finding out. And I specifically love the first game of preseason for my team because these exactly are you're right. Half of them we're never going to hear from again, but some of them might be like, whoa. Like the Chicago Bears found a linebacker, an undrafted free agent linebacker last year in preseason, who's now our starting outside linebacker core, who's one of the top. They're ranked as one of the 5 best linebacking cores in football. That's a kid named Jack Sanborn. And we noticed him in preseason last year. We're like, whoa, who is this kid? Undrafted kid. They said he was too small and too slow. He tears it up. Now he plays with Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards.
Well, there are exceptions to the rule. I think the great exception to the preseason boredom rule would be Tony Romo, who rocked 3 preseasons without ever taking a snap in the NFL, and then finally got a shot.
So same with Brett Favre. Remember Brett Favre sat on the bench.
I don't remember that.
Brett Favre sat on the bench in Atlanta. Nobody wanted to touch Brett Favre, and then Atlanta traded him to Green Bay. And boom, Brett Favre becomes Brett Favre. Yeah.
Well, he only became Brett Favre because Mikowski got hurt. Is that one of those stories?
Yeah. That's exactly why they traded for him, because the Magic Man, who, funny enough, went to high school with E, who is our third person. Don, the Magic Man Mikowski, went to high school with E. That's right.
That dude was pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, there you go. Okay, that's enough about football. A couple other things that I wanted to talk about tonight, James.
The Lizzo thing?
Well, what's that? Nah, I don't want to really do the Lizzo thing. First of all, we haven't done it in a couple nights. We're going to do Whose is Bigger. That's right. I got another Whose is Bigger game that we can do at the end of the show today. But in the meantime, Whose is... I know you like it when it's just you because you can't lose. You can only win.
Yeah.
That's fun. Let's see. What else did I have that I wanted to get into? Oh, yeah. The racial dysphoria thing that I brought up yesterday. I'm fascinated by this. You seem to have some familiarity with it. I am new to this party. I just learned about this whole thing being a real thing. I thought it was just the Rachel Dolezal wear. You know what I mean? I just thought it was like one person. No, turns out a lot of people have that. So I wanted to talk about that if you were so inclined. But if you have something, jump in.
No. We can start with the racial dysphoria because we've needed to get to this.
Okay.
This is absolutely fantastic. You want to tee it up?
Yeah. I'm not even sure now how this came across my plate, but it was yesterday. I was watching something. It was on in the background. It was a news report, and somebody started talking about this issue, and I went, wait, what? What? And they were talking about this influencer in England who is a like Instagram star and all this kind of stuff. Very famous, very popular. I've never heard of him, of course, because I'm a normal 50-something-year-old man. But this influencer is something called transracial, which is a part of this whole racial dysphoria thing. He's an influencer who thinks he's Korean, but he's not. He's English. But he's like had surgeries to like make his eyes look Korean, and he claims to be Korean and all this stuff. So this was just one little example of this larger story about this transracial phenomena, which is under a larger thing called racial dysphoria. James, tell me what your familiarity with it is. That's all I know about it. It's a new thing.
Well, I had to do a deep dive into this when the Rachel Dolezal thing broke, and I have to talk about these things on when I was on WRNO in New Orleans. It was a cute little station there that ended up firing me like 5 times. Don't you love it when a station has to, actually 3 times been fired from that station 3 times, and I'm still on it. I'll be on Saturday morning. I know.
Well, it's nice to know it's not personal.
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not. We're just in a dying industry.
With me, it almost always is. So
the initial foray into it was hilarious because when you start going through the dark parts of the internet, you find out Rachel Dolezal is not the only person that's tried to pull this off, and there's different offshoots of it, and it's really confusing to me because, like, I try to be a person that doesn't have feelings or whatever, but it really does tug at your heartstrings to see people who are so uncomfortable in their body, they make drastic changes like that. Like Sammy Sosa went from a white dude to a white dude. It's like, you didn't need to do that. And we all were kind of, I hope it made him happy, but we were all a little weirded out by Michael Jackson going from black to white, and then the Rachel Dolezal goes from white to black, and you know, you almost feel for these people. Like, how bad must it be to be that uncomfortable in your own body? Like, my life is tough enough that when I look in the mirror, I'm like, yup, white dude, whatever, you know, and I'm at least okay with that. So, you know, you feel for these people, but then some of it gets a little ridiculous. And the one that made it go back to less, oh, I'm compassionate about these people and they're sort of, it's a dysmorphia, you know, it's on the spectrum as transgender or whatever. The funny one is Alec Baldwin's wife. Are you familiar with Hillary Baldwin?
Hilaria. Hilaria.
Yeah, well, her name's not really Hilaria. Her name's really Hillary, and she is not Spanish, and she does not speak Spanish. She did not grow up speaking Spanish, and she has affected a Spanish accent on 6 different occasions that keeps getting put on this same montage and over and over.
That's fun. That's fun. I don't see a problem with that.
Well,
I mean, you do because you don't like Alec Baldwin and anything you can do to tear down his crazy wife. That's a fun chick. She ain't Spanish. Yeah, I know this story.
I know, but no. This is the fun version of sort of, you know, this isn't a sort of racial dysphoria in the way where she like uses
this is a fun one.
But yeah, no, I like this. This is hilarious. She's pretended to be Hispanic just because it's cool, because it's fun to have an accent. Like, has everyone seen this? Is everyone familiar with her?
No. I want to see it. I love a hot fool.
How's married life?
Married life is really nice. You know, it feels different. It really feels different. But I didn't think it was going to be different, but it feels quite different.
What's the thing that surprised you the most?
He's like 70.
I think just the fact that it feels different. You know, we like to say husband and wife a lot.
Yeah.
I call him husband now. I say, husband, where are you?
You're a yoga
He
teacher
took me
and
out
he's
to
a
Montauk.
super rich actor.
He said that was as close as he could get to Spain, to my family, and to Rome, because we really like Rome as well. And
Where'd the accent go?
he got down
Yeah,
on
it
his
comes
knee,
back.
And then I don't remember the rest because I started crying.
Man,
Very
she
few
is a
ingredients. We
delicious
have
mess.
tomatoes. We have how do you say anything? Cucumbers.
She knows how to
Easy,
say
and I
it.
think
How
part
you-
of it is
did
that
she
I'm
say
in shape
how you
before having
say?
a baby,
Yes.
and then I stay
Listen, love it.
active.
English is the only language she knows.
He's
It's
nuts.
so many other languages. It's
She's
a
awesome.
Oh, that's great.
When I'm
She's awesome.
pregnant,
She's
and
nuts.
it's- you know, I'm not trying to stay
Okay.
thin, I'm just
Do we
trying
need more
to-
of this?
Enough of that. No,
right,
you get the point.
So this is my whole thing with this. I think this is funny. I think that this whole concept of people who want to be a different race than they actually are, and I think it's hysterical. And is this something that people are getting mad about? And if so, explain to me why. Because I just think it's silly. This is silly.
No one's mad about it, but it's funny because
I mean, I get why. Hold on, I get why people are mad about trans people and all that, because there's a sexual aspect to that, and there's a whole bunch of other things. But this is just silly. This is like people who hate furries or Furbies, or who are those people that dress up in like furry costumes? Leave those people alone. They're weird. They found each other. Good for them. I don't get why this one is a problem. So go ahead. If it is a problem, why people are mad?
Look, Alec Baldwin and her have had 7 kids, and I like that part about them because
in like 5 years, like they haven't even been together that long, and they've got like 1 million kids. She's so hot. She was just a yoga teacher in Midtown Manhattan at a place where he used to go and take yoga, and now she's Mrs. Alec Baldwin.
Well, he has claimed in public that she is from Spain, but
he's nuts too. He's a weirdo. He's a nutball too. I mean, come on.
Okay, but it's funny because she's from Massachusetts.
Right.
Yeah, she's a regular white chick named Hillary, and she's now Hilaria Baldwin. And how you say cucumber? Yes. That's how you say it.
What are you going for? Like, don't you want to? What are you going for? Like, what's the end game here? Is it just because it's kind of more exotic? It makes you more interesting. I get it. Your husband's a big movie star, and you're just a yoga teacher, so you need a little bit of hot sauce on you. You need something that makes you interesting.
So that's
what this is.
That is another story, just a thumbtack you put in the map on the spectrum here, where we're dealing with these people who have some sort of racial dysphoria, or that's sort of more ethnic than racial, because skin tone wasn't the determining factor. But you get the point. It seems similar. It seems like in the same ballpark or arena as a Rachel Dolezal or a Sammy Sosa.
Right? Yeah, sure. Okay, so let me share with you now. This is Ollie London. Okay. Ollie London is a British influencer and singer who identifies as Korean. He's not. he's a white kid from the suburbs of London, but he identifies as Korean. And James, what better time if you're trying to break through as an entertainment influencer, what better time to identify than Korean than right now? I mean, all Koreans are all the rage. So here he is. This is Ollie London, definitely not Korean. He's weird looking is what he is.
His nose, man. That's a Michael Jackson nose.
Yeah. Look at him here. Here, not Korean. He's like trying to look like the bleached blonde hair is something that a Korean pop star wears, right? That's like
But
a
it would
look.
be a little redder.
Korean pop stars are, yeah, but they're doing things with their hair. They're making their hair not Korean. So in his non-Korean attempt to become Korean, he's wearing his hair in a style that is not Korean, yet fashionably Korean.
Love it.
Look at that.
Love it. What is this choice of jacket? Did he walk under some plaster or something?
Who's this now? I don't know who this is. This is not him.
That's
Is this
Miranda
somebody?
from Sex in the City. Yeah.
Okay, there he is. There's Ollie
Okay.
London again. Yeah. Oh, maybe that is it. There he is after having some kind of Korean eye surgery.
I hate it when people chop up their face, man.
Yeah. Wow.
Ooh.
All right. All right. So that's Ollie. That's Ollie. Are you familiar with Martina Big? Martina Big, James?
First time I'm hearing this name.
Okay, because Martina Big comes up. She's another one of these. Let's find some pictures of her so we can look at her. Martina Big. There she is. Oh, look at her. She comes up right away. That is funny.
It's gonna horrify me if you think it's funny.
This is awesome. All right, here you go, James. This is Martina. This is Martina Big, and she is definitely not a black woman. Not a black woman.
Oh, you're in trouble, dude. Is that a dude?
She is not a black woman.
You're just an ugly girl.
Let's see here. Let me click on. Let's learn a little bit about this lady, Martina Big. Okay, so her birth name is Martina Big. She goes by these days Malaika Kubwa. Malaika Kubwa.
You mean Malika?
No, I would know how to say Malika. No, this is Malaika, Malaika.
Well, go look her up on YouTube, or I'll look her up on YouTube. I need to see how they speak. I think that would be a determining factor in my final judgment. Spell her name again. M-A-L?
Martina Big. Just that's what I guess. What that's.
Okay.
Yeah. She's a German model. This is a German model. This is Hitler's nightmare. This is a German woman. She's I guess anybody can call themselves a model. She's a German model.
Bro, this is weird stuff. I don't even want to click these thumbnails.
She's an actress known for her extremely large breast implants. Oh, she's got big boobs too. Hold on, I didn't even. Let's see.
You want to see it? Hold it up over. Oh my. Oh, you're on it. Okay.
I don't know. There she goes.
There she goes.
She's absurd. I don't know what to say about her other than she's just absurd. That's crazy. Hey, more power to her. Is she happy? Like I say, what are we listening to? I'm not hearing anything. I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, hang on.
Okay. I don't know. What were you giving us? Some Martina Big? She got some music out there?
Let me do this.
Okay.
All right, watching this interview.
Oh, why do this?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I like my body from the beginning and to now every step. But like the boys, like their brand new car, they love to work on it. And if they see, wow, nice results, let's find this piece. And so tuning is a little bit more than expected.
There's been a lot of work going on, a lot of body work going on, that's for sure. 24 procedures. What aside from the obvious, what have you had done?
Also, when we last met, I was much smaller. Also actual, I have 7,100 cc each. But not only my skin color changed. Also in meanwhile, also I've
Straw man.
realized that
It's a
my
red
eye
herring.
color
Nobody
has
cares
changed.
about her boobs.
My
I
eyebrow
don't
color
care
has
about her
changed,
boobs.
and also my
I know
regrowing
why she got
hairs
big boobs.
are
It attracts
more
attention.
black
What's
and more
going on with the
darker
face and
and
the hair?
going curly.
So we should explain this a little bit further,
really
because this has changed, Martina, has come around because of these tanning injections, and it was one of your surgeons that recommended that you should use these tanning injections because you weren't getting the deep tan that you wanted just by going out into the sun. So how was that kind of sold to you? Was it explained that this would be a side effect, that you could get a very deep tan and that your eye color would change?
Yeah, also when in the constellation they said it will tan the skin more than also if you go only in the sun. But for me,
It's enough, man.
Yeah, that's enough for her. Look, hey, I hope she has a happy life. Whatever. It doesn't make me mad. I think that's silly. I think she's a silly person. I don't know who hurt her as a child that she didn't like who she is. I don't know why she's so in need to be someone else. I don't get this. So something that has happened over the past 20 years that I've noticed, especially with younger generations, and maybe it even started with your generation, which is just the generation behind mine. But when I was coming up, and maybe it's where I was coming up, it was everything what you were. The first thing you would say to somebody when you met them, if you're in high school and you meet somebody from a different high school, you'd say, "Oh yeah, okay. Well, what neighborhood are you from?" They'd say, "What neighborhood they're from?" And you'd say, "What are you?" And they'd go, "I'm German, Irish." And then, it seems like having pride in one's ethnicity, and I'm not talking about white pride, that's scary. I'm just talking about like where I came from, the Italians were proud of their Italian neighborhoods. The Irish were proud of their Irish neighborhoods. We didn't want to be something else. But I'll tell you this, I knew what I was. I was an Irish Catholic kid from the south side of Chicago. That's what I was. I didn't think I was better than anyone else, but I was just, rooting for the home team. And I don't think there's like any pride in actually who we are. Like, it's not cool. It's not necessarily cool to be Irish. We didn't dominate the world at any point. You know what I mean? We're not like Romans or descendants of, the Russians are. We're just like an island of people. And we don't think we're better than anybody else. But we do like who we are. And we don't try to be like, I've never wanted to be anything else. Unlike where you see examples, especially in like crime, like a lot of people try to be Italian. Like there are a lot of dudes who are Puerto Rican or Mexican or Greek or Turks. And especially in Chicago, they're just basically going around acting like they're Italians from the Italian neighborhood. So, I mean, I don't know. Go ahead, Jim, save me here. I just don't get it. It's strange to me to want to be something that you're not, or to not like who you are. And I don't understand when it stops being okay to be proud of being a German American or an Irish American or a, whatever, Turk, Greek American.
It takes all kinds. It takes some people that maybe she doesn't necessarily hate herself. She just wants to be something else, or she enjoys being the freak show. There's the dude that tattoos his entire body so he looks like a lizard and he splits his tongue in half. And, some people just like to do that to get some extra attention or be the center of attention. And whenever you get any sort of plastic surgery that is beyond the norm, so the giant boobs, the ridiculously big hair, the obvious ridiculous skin color, she had, what was that, pigment injections?
Yeah, because she wanted to get the darkest tan possible. She doesn't like who she is. I wonder what she looks like. Is there a picture? Can we find a picture of her before all of this? I'd love to see who she's running from.
Maybe she's not running from something. Maybe she just holds black women in high regard. Maybe she just thinks that's really beautiful and that's something to aspire to.
But that's not who she is. It says, see, this is where the mental break comes, where you don't recognize that that's not you. It's fine to admire other people for their attributes, but you can't just be them when you're not them. That's where there is something mentally broken here.
I know. And there's also in the Venn diagram overlap here of conversations that I had with John wanting to be Rebecca. It's not necessarily that he didn't like being John or he hated John. It's just there was this other thing that he thought he was better, and he was more aspiring to that than actually feel like he never really felt like he accomplished that, or she never really felt like she accomplished that. And this, she didn't seem in the interview. She didn't seem necessarily upset or angry or
No,
hateful.
she's fine.
She was, yeah, she was just like, "Hey, this is a cool thing. I'm going down." You know, I kind of have a similar feeling when I see the guys that work out a ton. It's like, do they hate themselves when they were a skinny guy and now they're just trying to be like this muscly dude, and so they're taking steroids and stuff to try and be something they're not? And kinda, it sort of feels, but if it makes them happy, you know, to pursue this ideal that, you know, they admit that they're not there yet. The real bodybuilders are never happy with how giant they become. And
Yeah, that's a
I get
mental
sort of,
illness too, though. I think that I think the bodybuilders have a mental illness.
yes. So I get a similar vibe from this lady. We just hadn't seen it as often, so the weirdness factor gets turned up a little bit for that.
All right, James, let me share another one with you. This is an individual by the here. Let's get rid of her. Okay. This is an individual by the name of. Have you ever heard of Coral Pandit? Coral Pandit. Here you go, ladies and
New
gentlemen.
name.
Coral Pandit right there. Coral Pandit is not of Indian origin. He has an Indian name. He's a black guy from St. Louis who
He's trying to be.
who decided that he would become a singer. Coral Pandit is an African-American musician who posed as an Indian from New Delhi in both his public and private life. Pandit was born John Rowland Red in St. Louis, Missouri. So, this has been going on for a while.
And who says he can't pull it off? Because Bruno Mars has been a hip hop artist. He's like a Filipino dude from Hawaii.
What?
Right?
I'm just learning now. I thought he was a black guy. You're telling me he's not a black guy?
No, I thought he was a black guy for like 5 years, and I found that he was like a half Filipino, half Chinese Elvis impersonator in Hawaii when he was a kid.
Get out of here. Hold on.
Oh man, it's one of the great American stories. This Bruno Mars kid, man, he, dude. Once you learn his real story, it's quite inspirational of like how racially obsessed we are not, because he has just flown under so many radars. You know, it's like Drake. Hang on, who's the backbone of hip hop for the last decade? Drake. Oh, you mean the Canadian Jewish kid?
Yeah. Peter Jean Hernandez. James. Oh, here, let's get rid of this guy. We don't need to see any more of this guy. Peter Jean.
Hey, I find him inspirational.
Peter Jean Hernandez, born in Honolulu, Hawaii, to Peter Hernandez and Bernadette San Pedro Bayat. He grew up in Waikiki. His father is of half Puerto Rican and half Jewish descent and is originally from Brooklyn, New York. Bruno Mars has stated that his Jewish ancestors were from Hungary and the Ukraine. His mother immigrated from the Philippines. All right, so here's what Bruno Mars is. Thought he was a black guy. Learning right now. Bruno Mars is a Jewish Puerto Rican with Hungarian and Ukrainian and Filipino ethnicity.
He's half Filipino, and the other half is a Puerto Rican Jew.
Yes, he's Juan Epstein from Welcome Back, Kotter. He's an idealized version. I thought he was a black guy until 10 minutes ago. Wow.
Isn't that amazing? Well, no one cares. No one cares about race anymore. No one, only on TV do they make it a big deal, dude. When you're going down the road, you look at the person next to you and be like, "Oh God, it's a black person." No one cares. No, they don't even bothers to assess. We don't even know what Bruno Mars is. Half of America doesn't know what The Rock is. What's The Rock?
I don't know what The Rock is.
What's Tiger Woods?
You say people don't care. They move next door. They start dating your daughter. Then we'll see who cares. You talk about driving down the road. You're right. Nobody cares. Black people are, but there's a lot of white people that still don't want to move into their neighborhoods. And so people care. It's still a thing.
Some people care, but they're a tiny minority. I don't think anybody would care.
See, that's the question.
Bruno Mars their daughter.
No, nobody cares about our celebrities and our stars and all that stuff. But see, I guess now we're at the level where, okay, so we don't care about that. We don't care about, sports. We don't care. People have come a long way. Racist. Good on you, racist. You've come a long way. You don't care about your movie stars kissing white ladies anymore. That used to burn cities down. No, but I do think there is still racism on an every day in and day out level. Move next door to me? No. the most liberal Democrats. They don't want the housing projects going up in that abandoned field that's being developed, right? You see that in these blue, well, I guess maybe you don't, but you see that in these blue suburbs in Chicago with all of these like liberal downtown, take the train every day, vote for Hillary type people. And then the HUD, Department of Housing, and they want to build a low income place somewhere in their beautiful suburb. And all of a sudden these people with Hillary signs, who have those signs that say, this is a house that doesn't do hate. Those people, all of a sudden, they're angry because some poor people are going to be moving in.
All right. I would like to have another submission in this weird body dysphoria discussion. Whether it's gender dysphoria. I'm not gender dysphoria, but that did come up. But you brought up racial dysphoria, and I brought up like bodybuilders and Hilaria Baldwin sort of doing ethnic dysphoria.
Hilarious Baldwin. That's such a perfect name. She's hilarious.
Did you see this headline? Vegan raw food diet influencer Zana Dart dies of suspected starvation, according to this report. Reportedly. Right. All right. So there's this lady who is an influencer on social media from Russia, and she's a vegan, and she's a vegan activist, and she tries to convince other people to be vegan. And the more she did videos, and the bigger her following got, and the more famous she became, she was able to move to Malaysia, and then
I'd say, that's very, very nice. I'm sure a beautiful blonde American would do well for herself in Malaysia.
Well, she's from Russia.
Oh, okay.
So she goes even more extreme into this vegan lifestyle diet, where she goes to only subsisting on two fruits. One of them is jackfruit. The other one is durian. I have no idea what either one of those are. I've tried to look it up. I've actually seen some stuff at the Asian markets here in Bug Tussle that's flavored durian, and I'm told, or I've read that it smells like dog farts. Yeah, but she is only subsisting on these two fruits, and the malnutrition is so much so that you see how skinny she gets, right?
Looking at it. She just see it, but not looking. Yeah. Don't want to look at that.
It's awful. So she starts to get organ failure, and she just dies in Malaysia. And so I know it's horrible to look at. This is my submission. This is another form of body dysphoria, or people who are not comfortable in their own skin. This is another sort of, I think it's on that same spectrum as a Rachel Dolezal or a Hilaria Baldwin, or that weird chick that you just showed us. And was that Britain or Australia? What was that accent?
Which one?
The London. It was the person from London. But were they on Australian TV? Or anyway, the London lady, we at least know, is that the one that wanted to be black, the one that had the pigment injections?
No, she was German. She was German.
Oh, that's why she had the funky.
Martina Big.
This is a weird world, dude. This is weird. All right. So that I think that fits into this argument. There are some people who are just not happy with themselves, and this lady that sort of starved herself on third world terrorist fruit or whatever, she must not have been happy with herself at a decent weight. And she saw those pictures that we just saw, and she was horrified, and she's bragging about it, and she's putting it on her Instagram and her TikTok, and she thinks this is worthy of praise. And you got to look at someone like that, and how do you not see what we see?
Okay, so the whole story of what do we call it? Transracial or racial dysphoria. Again, is there a problem with it? This is, understanding it. I don't think we can understand it. If you don't go through it, you can't understand it. It's like me and depression. People who have depression understand it. Other people, why don't you just pull yourself up? And they don't get it. So whatever is going on with these people, something is going on. I don't get it. Is it a problem? Is it something we need to be ginned up about? Because as I say, I do make a distinction between this and transsexuals, which I understand why people are ginned up about that. But this, I'm trying to find the thing that people are going to have a problem with.
Yep. I still lean on the Dr. Drew advice I learned from Loveline 21 years ago or whatever it was. And that is, you can define any addiction or, pathological addiction defined by, do you continue this behavior in the face of negative consequences? So for this lady who veganed herself into nutritional starvation, yes, there were negative consequences. For Rachel Dolezal, not really. For Sammy Sosa, none. There's no negative consequences.
None for Michael
to-
Jackson.
Right,
Mhm.
exactly. So it's sort of a hit or miss. And the answer, of course, it's going to break down. Not every case is equal, and this is all on an individual basis. But there is an easy metric you can use. Is there any negative consequences? And after this person is faced with negative consequences, do they still continue this negative behavior? Because if you have negative behavior and there's consequences and you stop or change or at least attempt to modify your behavior, then it's not necessarily a pathological addiction. It was just a bad behavior pattern and you're a slow learner. But
all right, it's just a new issue that's on my radar screen. Now I know about transracial people. Look, for a long time there was like white kids that they did breakdancing and like hip hop, and they spoke a certain way, and they really jumped headfirst into a different kind of culture than maybe the suburban culture. I'm just saying, this is not a new thing. Were those people racially dysphoric? Go ahead, James. What do you got?
And of course, Francis knows what a durian is.
Francis from Vietnam. He is.
How could you tell? Durian is disgusting. It smells so bad. Hotels and airlines ban people from bringing it onto their premises and planes. Yeah, that's something I hear over and over. Durian, does it taste good? Because I've actually had some stuff from the Asian market here. There's a couple of Asian markets that are fantastic in bug tussle.
No, if it smells bad, it can't possibly
be good.
No.
Oh, I disagree. There's another one. I need to find out what a pandan is, because there's a bunch of stuff that's pandan flavored, Pandan, and I don't know what a pandan is, but it's pretty good.
Hey, before we get out of here, I want to ask you something. We covered this today on the High Noon Show. Were you done? I didn't mean to just change subjects. I just thought there was an opening.
No, what you hit on the High Noon Show? We're running out of time.
So on the High Noon Show today, we like to do birthdays. We talk about people who were born on this day, and I talked about somebody who I really like, and we did a draft and all that. And then later this afternoon, I was talking to a friend of mine, and my friend said, I didn't know who this person was. I'd never heard of this person. So tonight I'm going to watch, this movie that I suggested. And I thought, what? How old are you? This person turns out is about 10 years younger than me. And I'm like, how do you not know who this person is? This person is a genius. So I wanted to ask you, I wanted to bring this back tonight, because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just a Gen X. You had to grow up in the 80s.
I'm so bad at these games because I grew up in the middle of nowhere where I only had one channel.
But the only answer is, do you know who this person is? Or can you name one? Okay. Can you name something this person is associated with? James, today was John Landis's birthday. John Landis, film director John Landis. See, this is so strange, man. This is weird, because you should know this. As I said on the show earlier today, in the 1980s, there were two comedy directors who dominated every funny movie that was made in the 1980s, and that's Ivan Reitman and John Landis. John Landis is the other one.
Caddyshack and Ghostbusters and stuff.
Those are Ivan Reitman. you just named the. All right, so here, let me give you a couple of things that John Landis did. I'll just repeat my draft from earlier today. Blues Brothers was my number one because I'm biased for that movie. Animal House, An American Werewolf in London, Trading Places, Amazon Women on the Moon, Spies Like Us, Three Amigos, Kentucky Fried Movie, Coming to America, Beverly Hills Cop.
Dang.
This guy was huge, and for some reason, he's been forgotten. You don't know who he is. Oh, also, probably the most important music video of all time. John Landis directed Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller video.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just so strange to me how some people seem to fall through the cracks. This dude's body of work is unbelievable. And
one of my favorite videos of all time is Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. I don't know who directed it or produced it or any of that crap.
Really?
I don't know who. I think the Coen brothers did Big Lebowski and like Wes Anderson did Rushmore, but other than that, I don't keep up with this crap. And most people are even more vacant minded than I am. God forbid, but they are.
Pretty sure Sabotage was directed by Spike Jonze. Spike Jonze, who did a lot of work with the.
Maybe so.
It might have been
sounds
sort of a collaboration because Adam was directing at that time, but I think it was that video I think might have been Spike Jonze and Adam. Anyway, all right. Well,
hang on. I have a pandan update.
Okay.
Tell me about pandan here, our Vietnamese friend. Pandan tastes similar to coconut. You'll see it mostly used as a pastry base. That is, there was like a little shortbread. It almost looked like a Kit Kat wafer that was pandan flavored. Dang, he really does know. All right.
How fun.
So he's not transracial. He's legitimately Vietnamese. He knows what durian and pandan
Who,
is.
Francis?
So,
Yeah, he was born there.
Well, he could have got surgery like that weirdo from the London. Yeah, that was the London, not the German dude. The London guy wanted to have like Korean surgery, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Something.
I made an ass out of myself doing that wrong.
Hey, what do you say? We spend the last couple of minutes of today's show. Oh, why is this not? Why is my game?
Download the Domino's app today and become a piece of the pie rewards member to
I
earn
got
points
an
toward free
ad. I'm
pizza.
trying to play some free use game show music off. Oh, and now they're gonna make me let. No, shut up. Just noise. So we got a new theme for Whose is Bigger. Go ahead. You got something you want to say? You got something you want to say?
Your technical expertise is so limited compared to the heights you've reached in your radio career.
So, you know what? I was a victim of my own success.
No, that's
No, I was flooded with producers.
You can't say that for 20 years.
I know, but I have been, strangely enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's play Whose is Bigger, America's favorite game show. I don't like that game show music. That game show music sucks.
Yeah, that's trash, actually. So.
Sucks. I thought that was the same one that I hit before. Okay, let's see. That's porno music. I don't want porno music. Don't make it dirty.
Dude, this is that's an actual 70s game show theme song.
No, it's not.
You're not. That's like Password or something. I pulled that from a real game show. That's not a porn thing.
It sounds like porn. All right, hold on. Let's see.
Well, a lot of them did. You listen to some really up-tempo porn.
Game show background music, royalty-free game show background. I had some good stuff that I was using. Is this it? This'll work. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to America's favorite new game show, Whose is Bigger? We used to do it nightly, but even I thought it was getting a little bit old. So we haven't done it in a few days. I'm thinking it might be a fun way to wrap up the week. We can do Whose is Bigger on Thursday nights. Oh, look at you showing off with buzzers. So how does Who's It Bigger work? Well, I'm glad you asked. I give James two choices, and he tells me whose is bigger. Now, you might think you know what we're talking about, but we're not, because that depends. Every single day the categories change. Today's category, James, who lived longer? Whose amount of days on Earth is bigger? Are you ready to play Whose is Bigger, James?
I like this. Oh, man. That's half the battle is picking the right category. Go.
All right, James. First question in Whose is Bigger. Who lived longer, Jesus or Muhammad? Jesus or Muhammad? Who's
Muhammad?
Whose is bigger, James?
Muhammad.
You say Muhammad?
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on. I just realized I didn't write down how old Muhammad was. Quick. Hold on. I got to Google real quick.
I'm about 90-something% sure that Jesus died at age 33, and it was like around Easter or something, probably.
He was 33. All right, yeah, you're right. Muhammad, 61. Jesus was just 33. So they say. Let's see. Okay, there you go. James, whose is bigger? We're trying to figure out who lived longer. Whose is bigger? Amount of days on this planet? Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, or George Washington? Who lived longer, James? William Shakespeare or George Washington?
Man, I think we're not even 100% sure that Shakespeare was a dude and not a pen name for like the son of the Archduke of Canterbury or something stupid like that. But I think he even the fake William Shakespeare is purported to have died at a younger age than George Washington, who kind of died young. Wasn't he only like 63 when he died? And so I'm going to go George Washington. He lived longer than William
So
Shakespeare.
days on Earth, George Washington's is bigger is correct. George Washington, 67. William Shakespeare, 52. James, whose is bigger?
Shakespeare died younger than you, bro.
Ooh, yeah, I know a lot of them did.
He had a pretty good career. What have you accomplished so far?
Certainly not Shakespeare, man. And,
Close.
and Shakespeare was like a has-been for like 10 years too. So before he died. So he did everything like early. Ugh.
He was hacked.
James, whose is bigger? Meaning who lived longer is the question for today. Brittany Murphy, adorable American starlet Brittany Murphy, or Princess Diana? Who was older when they died?
Whoa.
Brittany Murphy or Princess Diana?
It sucks when you do modern people because I almost feel like dirty talking about it. I think Princess Diana made it longer than Brittany Murphy.
Princess Diana is the winner. Princess Diana, 36 years old when she died. Brittany Murphy, just 32. James, whose is bigger? Who lived longer, Marilyn Monroe or Anna Nicole Smith? Who was older at the time of their demise, Marilyn Monroe or Anna Nicole Smith? Playing whose is bigger?
Do I have a perfect record so far?
Pretty good today.
Anna Nicole Smith from the great Mahia, Texas. She is an East Texas legend. We are very proud of her here. Anna Nicole Smith.
Anna Nicole, I'm sorry. Okay, so you go with Anna Nicole Smith. Anna Nicole Smith is correct. 39 years old. Marilyn was just 36. Marilyn.
Yeah, and Norma Jean Baker, a Texas legend as well from the Houston area. Maryland.
James.
Yeah. Two Texas girls. I love it.
Whose is bigger? Meaning who lived longer? Napoleon, the great French emperor, or Julius Caesar? Julius Caesar or Napoleon? Who lived longer?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Napoleon because he didn't even get killed. He got exiled twice.
Yeah, he died of like a mix of dysentery and something else on his island exile.
His second island exile. What was that? Elba.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me Napoleon.
Oh, James, there goes your perfect record. So sad. So sad. Napoleon was 51 years old when he died in exile. Julius Caesar, 55 when he suffered the stab in the back from Et tu, Brute, during the Ides of March. 55 for Julius Caesar, 51 for Napoleon.
Dang, I was doing so well.
James, whose is greater? Whose is bigger? Meaning who lived longer before their untimely death? Abe Lincoln or Catherine the Great? Abe Lincoln or Catherine the Great? Whose is bigger? And by that I mean amount of days on Earth. Who was older?
Catherine the Great.
Catherine the Great. He's back on the winning path. Catherine the Great was 67 when she died. A horse sat on her, they say. And Abe Lincoln was 56 when he went to that show at the Ford Theater. Let's see. James, whose is bigger? Amount of days spent on Earth? JFK or RFK? Who's bigger? Who lived longer? JFK or RFK? Remembering now there was about a 5-year difference between the assassinations. So was JFK 5 years older than RFK is a question you're probably asking yourself right now.
I think RFK actually lived longer.
You're going with RFK?
Oh, crap. I don't like that response. But yes.
He's going with RFK. I am sorry, but no. JFK was 46 years old when assassinated that fateful day here in Dallas. RFK, 42, as he stood there at the Los Angeles Hilton. 42.
So that makes him 9 years younger?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought they were like best friends, like they grew up together, but no, apparently not.
All right. I was way off.
JFK grew up with Joe. Joe, his older brother. Joe was only like 2 years older than him.
Died in World War II, right?
Yeah. He was supposed to be the one. And then JFK was not ready for it. JFK had it dropped on him. And James, who was older? Whose is bigger? And by that I mean days logged on this planet Earth. MLK, that's short for Martin Luther King, or Malcolm X? Who was older at the time of their untimely passing?
I'm going to go Malcolm X.
Malcolm X. You know what? I'm going to give it to you. I would have given this is a trick question. They were both, they're both 39 years old.
Oh, well, then that's a tie.
It's not actually because Malcolm X's birthday was before, but they're both 39 years old. So the winner is Malcolm X, and so you won. But I would have given it Martin Luther King too because they were both the same age, technically.
What a great life story that dude has.
James, a couple of rock stars for you. One of global renown, one of particular local significance. Whose is bigger? And by this I mean days spent on this planet. Dimebag Darrell of Pantera or John Lennon? Who was older at the time of their assassination? John Lennon, shot in front of the Dakota Hotel, or Dimebag Darrell on that stage in Ohio? James, whose is bigger?
I think I know that it was John Lennon.
You going with John Lennon?
Yeah, I'm going with John Lennon.
John Lennon is correct. He was 40. Dime was 38. Dime was 38. John Lennon, 40 years old. James,
I remember where I was when I heard about Dimebag Darrell.
This is a get right one. Something that you should know. It's fairly easy, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. James, whose is bigger? Meaning, who died older? Cleopatra or Joan of Arc?
Cleopatra.
There you go. There's your get right. Cleopatra was almost 40 years old. Joan of Arc, 19. Joan of Arc only 19. All right, and finally, let's end with this one.
Wait, how old was Cleopatra?
Cleopatra was 39 years old.
Okay.
39 years, 9 months, 15 days. James, all right, here's a good one. We'll go out with this couple of laughs. Two of the most important names in American comedy history. Whose is bigger, James? Richard Pryor or George Carlin? By that we mean who was older when they passed on. Whose is bigger?
That sounds really easy. Wouldn't George Carlin?
Is George Carlin what you're going with? You're saying George Carlin was older than Richard Pryor when he passed?
I mean, it feels like that. This feels almost too obvious. Was he?
You locked in?
Final answer. Yes.
Final answer. George Carlin is correct. George Carlin was 71. Richard Pryor was 65. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on tonight's edition of Whose is Bigger. James, wave to the camera like a spaz. Thank you. All right. Wasn't that good? That was a nice way to end the show. You did very well tonight. You should be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. There we go. All right, James, tell everybody where they can find Florida Stories, and that'll be it for us for the week.
Florida Stories. It's everywhere you listen to podcasts, and it's also on most of the places you're watching video. So Facebook and YouTube and all that crap too.
Hey, I was just wondering, because look, you didn't do a funny thing with your name today. You were the first to stop the streak. You and I have both been doing funny things with our names.
It's because I came in late, all hot and heavy. Just got out from under Miss Parker, and I didn't have.
Do you see my name? Does that name register with you? Here's another question. I'm like, when I came up with this name, I'm like, are people gonna know what that is? Does that mean anything to you, Cool Papa?
Cool Papa?
Yeah,
no.
That Cool Papa Bell. He's like an old Negro baseball player who's like the fastest man in the history of Major League Baseball. They say they didn't have a way to, but anyway, I always loved his name. So I was gonna do a string of Negro League player names because they all had super cool names, like Oil Can Davis, stuff like that, And I figured that, but if James doesn't appreciate him, I can't continue. I can't keep doing them.
I've never heard of him. I thought like the consensus fastest guy was like wasn't Ricky Henderson?
Well, that's in the modern era, but Cool Papa played in the Negro Leagues, 1974, I believe, inductee into the Baseball Hall of Fame. One of the greats of all time. Never got a chance to play in the big.
In retrospect, doesn't that sound so weird that they had a Negro League? Like you can't play baseball with that guy because he's darker than you.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Like, why would you even? Oh no, you have to doo-doo in a different room. You're doo-dooing. Who cares? Like, it just seems so disconnected. I'd like to take a time machine and just have a chat.
Well,
with people.
also, I mean, just think of the icons that we have from that era. You know, we have the Babe Ruths and the Lou Gehrigs and the Ty. They weren't playing against any black guys. I mean, as we have come to learn, black guys are terrific athletes in their own right. And if you were to mix them, would Babe Ruth really be the greatest of all time if there was?
Well, yeah, and I like this. I like this little angle because you think Babe Ruth can find Dominican Republic on a map. No. He didn't even have to play against them. He didn't have to play against any Cubans, you know. But I mean, Cuba was barely even a thing as far as baseball, Major League Baseball goes. I mean, how many Hispanics did they play?
They weren't here. Let's talk about the people that were here. There's a whole country full of black people who were definitely baseball fans, and they were playing baseball. They just weren't allowed to play with the white guys. And it's not like it was a lesser league. The Negro leagues were really good. I mean, Satchel Paige is widely considered to be arguably the greatest player that's ever played the game of baseball. And he exclusively, until like he was 50, he pitched until he was like 60. Until he was like 50, he played in the Negro leagues. So, I mean.
Yeah. As a baseball fan in like the 40s, you didn't say, hey, can we get that player on our team? I want to win a damn.
Yeah, no, you couldn't. You couldn't
beat the stupid ass Yankees finally. If we could just get over the pigment is wrong. Oh, the pigment doesn't work out for you. Yeah, it just seems so anathema to our.
Do you know about the Babe Ruth controversy? Do you know about how Babe Ruth is probably a black guy? It's just people let it slide because he was incredibly light skinned. So the Babe Ruth story is filled with all of these curious little things that happened in his life. Like, for instance, he was given up for adoption as a baby, you know, by parents that didn't necessarily have to give him up for adoption. And that was always an indicator that maybe the mom had sex with somebody she shouldn't have, and the baby came out looking a certain way. So they were put into an orphanage.
So he's of mixed race.
And if you'd ever looked at Babe Ruth's face, I mean, I know it's all 1920s black and white photography, so it's a bit washed out anyway, but look at his face. He has some facial features that are like, you know, that's not.
Dude, you know, I hate to be so reductive, but any fan of animal husbandry realizes when you mix breeds, you often get a stronger result. And look at how good the mixed race people have done in modern American society. Everyone from, you know, Patrick Mahomes to Alicia Keys to the aforementioned Drake. Right, and then Tiger Woods, and sure, that it would make total sense if Babe Ruth was, you know, half of each, had a foot in both camp. Sounds amazing. And I also learned doing one of these, you know, history segments, that the first black guy to play in the major leagues was a dude for Cleveland in like 1900 or 1910 or somewhere in that little decade. But they passed him off as an Indian so he could play.
An Indian. Oh, the Indians were all right. The natives were all right. Well, there were a lot of black guys who had to pretend to be Cubans because starting in the 1930s, they started to allow Cuban players to come and play, but you still couldn't be black. So black guys, there were black Cubans, but black Cubans were all right. American blacks were not. It was like somehow they justified it in a weird way. So a lot of black guys had to pretend to be Cubans. And now we're back to the whole racial dysphoria story that we were doing earlier today.
Man, it really did come full circle. And look at this comment. Was Ted Williams half Mexican?
Probably. Let's go with it. I got no problem with that. James, you as a half Mexican, you should happily quarter Mexican, you should happily claim Ted Williams, one of the greatest swingers in the history of baseball.
Well, I quarter claim him.
Okay. There you go. Good for you. All right.
Later.
We got nothing else. That's it. There goes James. Everything's done. Life is over. Not life. I shouldn't say that. My God. All right. We'll see you tomorrow at noon. Appreciate you being with us. We do this every Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Radio Misfits here on the RadioMisfits.com podcast and live streaming platforms. You can catch all the old shows by going to Pugscast.com. There you'll find just about every high noon show that I've done, which is current events, hot topics, headlines, trends. That's what the noon show is. You can find all of those, and you can find all the past issues of these here Radio Misfits shows. So enjoy. Have fun. What else? Is there anything else? Oh, it's tip week around here. So if you want to help out the show with a tip, that would be great. We do appreciate it. We are trying to raise the last of this month's money to ensure that we can continue doing these shows. So there you go. You can tip the show by going to Venmo or the Cash App. I'd appreciate it. Oh, I wanted to talk to James about something. Oh, James is gone. I had one other topic that I really wanted to get into. Oh, well, we'll save it. Love you guys. Remember, breaking news or anything like that, something big happens over the weekend, I'll jump in and we'll do live streams on that. Short of anything like that occurring, I'll be here tomorrow at noon for High Noon. Join me. Hot topics, current events, headlines, trends, all that stuff tomorrow at noon. I got to go do something I don't want to do now. So bye. Things are going good. I always had to be on guard. That is understood. Down the road I'll travel, far from the comfort nest. I am on a never